Hey everyone, welcome back to another edition of Bowtech Live. Man, we are coming at you from every direction every day this week. If you're lucky enough to join us last night, you were able to see Nate Zelinsky, and he is back with big game, man. And it's that time of season. I'm getting stoked. I think we're 30 days out here in Oregon. I'm ready to get some elk hunting done. Nate's going to join us today. We're going to, we've been hitting elk hunting. We've been talking about some phenomenal elk hunting and whitetail hunting, but Nate is really going on an experience of a lifetime, and I wanted to get him in here and really talk about that because it's not a type of a hunt that a lot of people are able to go on, and it's truly one of those ones that can end up being a once-of-a-lifetime hunt. So I felt it was a great opportunity for him to share what he's going to be doing. We're going to be doing Nate's going to be doing some cool stuff during the hunt to be able to share that with you. Because fortunately he's able to have a pretty decent connection while he's there. So thanks for joining us, Nate. I was happy to be able to get you in here today.
Absolutely, man. I'm excited to be here, and there's no doubt. Hunting season is obviously a life for all of us, so we live by it on a 12-month basis. But when I got that email saying I drew a sheep tag here in Colorado, I would say the overall enthusiasm towards this fall grew quite a bit.
I bet.
Really bumped up the physical activity, and just been getting ready for it every waking minute right now. So excited about it.
And we were talking, before we came on air, just how busy of a guy you are, because we have this huge elk sweepstakes going that you're the man on this event. I mean, they're going to be lucky enough to head out with you, but you've been prepping for this sheep hunt along with that, hitting the field, scouting for elk.
Yep.
Prepping for this because you got to seal the deal on the sheep hunt. Kind of walk us through what you've been doing. Let's talk sheep. Prepping for this sheep hunt.
Absolutely. The biggest thing with this is, scouting is everything. If you've watched any of the live feeds that we do, or you know me as a person, everything that we do is all a do-it-yourself type thing. It's great for the viewers because, we're not taking advantage of a lot of the different things that might be out there to some hunters. We're doing it the hard way, the way that anybody could achieve it, if you have that time or get that tag, so we're doing it all alone. So right now I'm trying to have that mixture of, going out, finding rams, and building up an arsenal of tools of how I could possibly hunt these rams. Now, when you talk about a ram tag in the Rocky Mountain region, there's a lot of different tags. There's guys that will draw a later December tag when these, animals are basically in their breeding time of year. They come way out of that high country and much lower elevation, and they get very much like a mule deer in rut. Almost to the point to where they're so focused on breeding, they're slightly brain dead. Here to make that approach, but therefore those tags are much harder to get. Some of those tags might take a hunter 20, 30 years to draw that tag. I'm actually looking for the ultimate bighorn sheep tag. So when I put in for an area that is all tree line. So I'm going to be hunting these rams, at 12 to 14,000 feet in elevation. It's the gnarliest of all country. Everybody talks about having service. I feel like I'm on top of the world. I can probably see your studio from hunting. So I get great service because I'm so high up. I can broadcast from about anywhere. So it's neat. So I drew that tag having the goals of having a true archery experience above tree line. The only thing that comes with that is I'm dealing with a lot of open terrain. These rams will be on big grassy hillsides above tree line. And literally they're in a situation where they might spot you 300-400 yards out. So getting within range is definitely going to be the hard part of this hunt. Finding sheep, I don't ever want to say it's easy, but being above tree line, if you glass long enough and glass far enough, generally speaking, you can find the sheep. It's more a situation of trying to build a pattern. Am I going to do a spot and stock style hunt? A lot of guys try to build patterns to where you find a narrow ridge or some real rocky, rough country that they're cruising on, and you can almost build a blind or sit on these trails and hunt them that way, or water holes. And there's a lot of things that most sheep hunters just go in with a spot and stock style. And I'm trying to have a really wide open mindset of, hey, what are all my options of how I can get close to one of these things and make it happen. So I'm doing a lot of scouting of obviously the animal. I'm scouting the terrain. I'm looking for old beds. I'm looking for trails. I'm looking for everything I possibly can utilize as a resource to make a successful hunt out of this. So
Right.
a lot of scouting is going into this for sure.
Well, let's talk physical prep. I know we've seen a lot. You've shared a lot of videos of pulling the kids up the dirt roads on the sled with your pack on. You know, you hunt a ton of elk at elevations. Is there any at higher elevations? Do you have to go above and beyond in your physical prep when you're dealing with ram?
Yeah, I am. I think that on a daily basis, I would say that I keep myself in physical shape to go on most of the big game hunts. The big thing that's different on the sheep, I would say, is more the endurance side and more so the speed side. So in the average elk hunt, generally speaking, where the elk are going into that morning hunt. So if I need to get to a certain drainage, by 6 a.m., I can always start at 10 p.m. if I have to, and I can take my time, because usually you're hunting these animals in that first light situation. As opposed to the sheep, a lot of times you're going to keep yourself in lower country, and you're actually going to wait till it's light to find where the animals are at and then pursue them. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times you're going to see them on these grassy hillsides, and you're literally waiting for these animals to make a move towards their bed, and then you literally have to sprint up to take advantage of maybe a small drainage or a rock pile that you can hide behind. So I'd say everything is, 5 to 6 times faster pace than the average elk hunt. So it's not so much that I'm not physical enough to make it there. It's more so I want to do it in a quarter of the time that I would normally do this style hunt. I'm really working on the speed. I want to be able to sprint up these mountains that I usually would crawl up. So that's kind of number one. Going two, if I have to do 16 to 17 miles a day above tree line, I'm trying to train my body to survive on, less water, less, being hydrated, less food. I want to make sure that I can put my body through a nightmare and not get sick and not have that low energy level. So I'm really training myself to not eat as much, not drink as much, and still perform physically to keep up with those demands. And, I might need it, I might not. But if for some reason I am unsuccessful on this hunt, I can guarantee it wasn't because of my physical ability.
Right. So. Right. Well, earlier today we had been talking the last couple of days, and you had a bunch of images you had sent over to us. Can you kind of walk us through some of those? And they're really good stuff. I love it. You sent over, and it shows how hard you've been working. So walk us through these images.
In this area that I'm hunting, we have a lot of sheep. So I'm so lucky that there's a lot of different sheep. So there's 5 or 6 real big bands of a lot of animals. And I have one band that's probably 70 different sheep. But within that, we also have some independents. So the first image we're going to look at here, this is an independent ram. And it's kind of got a little bit of a notorious following behind him. This ram actually has survived as an adult large ram the last 2 archery seasons. So I should say the last hunting seasons, archery and rifle. I've had buddies that hunted this area the last 2 years. They all knew about this ram, and he is at peak maturity. He's a full curl. One side is actually over a full curl. He's got good drop for this area, a lot of mass, a lot of length. This ram is one for any sheep hunter to put in their their trophy room or their record books. So he's a full blown monster, and I put a lot of energy into his pattern, into his behavior, what he will allow me to get away with, what he doesn't like. So I feel like I have his tolerance levels dialed in pretty good. So we're going to see what that ram will let me do early in the season. The only negative to that ram is he is probably in the easiest country of the entire unit. So of anybody else finding this ram, there's a couple other sheep tags that I'll be hunting with other hunters. I have some rams that I don't think anybody in the world would want to go to, which I like. I'm probably the only one that, dumb enough to try to get into this country. But this big ram is in an area where we might see some other hunters. So we'll just see what happens come opening day and what that ram does. And then you go down to those next set of photos. I think it's like 3 through 6. We have a big band, and this has also got 2 really good sheep in it. So there's 9 rams together in this band, a big summer herd of rams. And there's one ram here that's a full curl. He's actually really heavy. He's kind of flat on the inside curl. So he's a really neat looking ram. And again, just a dandy, a big full curl. He doesn't drop quite as much as that first ram, but still just a great ram. The ram behind that, you'll see one that's kind of flared out. This ram's really unique because he's so wide. This one, he really comes down, but he comes out with his horns. And I tell you, when that ram walks away from you, you about fall over. I mean, you're like, look at that thing walking away. And he's an absolute giant. And that ram, or those two rams in that bunch, tend to butt heads a little bit. And every so often, maybe every 3 to 5 days, one of those kind of breaks away and kind of goes solo. So I'm going to try to take advantage of whether it's one of those two rams breaking off solo or that very first picture of that big ram. Anytime that these rams go solo and you have to deal with one ram versus 9 or, a big group of ewes, having 80 of them, one animal is much easier to hunt than a big group of them. So we'll see if I can get a one-on-one experience with one of these rams to hopefully help my odds out. So there's a lot of sheep in the area. I've seen, again, a lot of rams, a lot of ewes, things like that, a lot of immature rams. So I got a lot of sheep to look at, and it's just a matter of putting the pattern together on one of those last ones. My sheep tag actually starts next Saturday. So not this first one, but the following Saturday. So I actually given these animals a break for about 2 days, and then I'll be on them literally, 18 hours a day for that final week.
Right.
All the final patterns on them to get ready to put the hunt on Saturday morning.
Yeah. The last couple of images you had sent over are really cool because that gives a good indication of the terrain you're going to be dealing with. I mean, it's, we can talk about it all day long, but that's some, you talk about how you're hunting those rams. I mean, there's not a lot of places to hide for you.
I mean, it's open country. That's the problem. That's, again, every sheep tag has its pluses and negatives. And this unit has a lot of sheep, which is a plus. The only negative is when they're in their summer zones like they are right now, there might be days in the sheep season where I might have to just sit on one for, 4 or 5 days for him to move into country that presents a stalking opportunity. So yeah, it's steep, it's rugged, it's by no means quiet. I mean, you're dealing with screet and shale and everything else. It's like an elephant trying to walk through a glass room to sneak up on these things. So again, I'm excited. We got a lot of challenges ahead of us. Should be a fun hunt.
Let's talk about bow setup. What are you running for a bow out there?
I'm shooting the Realm X right now, and I'm dialed in. So the biggest thing I'd say that I did on this hunt versus a normal hunt, I actually put a little bit more weight on my bow. So I put more weight on a stabilizer just for the fact that when you're above tree line, I'm dealing with a lot of wind. So I would say normally in an elk hunt, I'm dealing with the lightest rig I can have. Really light quivers. I'm dealing with a really light stabilizer. With this bow, I put a lot more weight on my stabilizer just to, again, try to stabilize the bow if I have to shoot in a 30 or 40 mile an hour crosswind. So I did a lot more weight on the bow than I normally would do. The other big thing I did is I switched up my arrow combination. Same thing. I did a lot more front of center weight to where I actually added about 90 grains to my normal arrow that I would normally shoot for elk or deer. Again, trying to stabilize these arrows for the situation if I do have to shoot in wind. So I'm kind of building my setup just to more adapt to the conditions that I might be dealing with. Now, I hope it's calm and flat, right? At 30 yards. That's the goal. But if I have to take that 70-yard shot and, 40-mile-an-hour wind, things like that, I'm prepared to do so. So I'm just getting ready. And I think that the hardest thing that I've dealt with on the shooting side, the bow setup, is really learning angles. In the average hunt, we as a hunter, I think, get really used to shooting a 20-degree angle or something like that. Right. And all of a sudden you get in a sheep situation where you're like, hey, I want to make sure I can take a 45-degree shot, And if you actually look at the numbers and how you do that, again, in our head, I think we all tell ourselves what we have to do. But when you actually start looking at the true numbers, it'll blow your mind what an arrow does at those certain angles. So that was a huge eye-opener as far as myself as a hunter and learning those those charts on how to make those really technical shots.
I bet. We have a good question relating to gear from Tyler Hendrickson. He's never been out west hunting before. What kind of sight would you recommend if you have an HHA Kingpin TE or the HHA Light 3-pin? So I don't know if you're looking single, if they're looking 3.
The biggest thing is multiple pins of any sight. I mean, the biggest thing you want is more pins, the better. I mean, whether you're shooting, obviously it's going to depend on your comfort zone as far as your range, but your goal is to not have to adjust your pins, especially in the elk hunting side. On the sheep side, I probably will have a little bit of time to adjust if I have to, but on the elk hunting side, it's a fast-paced hunt. These bulls, you call to them, they can go from 100 yards out to 20 yards out or 20 feet out in literally seconds. And anytime that you're shooting a single pin or even an adjustable pin, you're going to have to force yourself to move that, and movement will ruin more elk hunts than anything else out there. So the biggest thing for me, I mean, shoot multiple pins. If you want to shoot to 70 yards, shoot a 5 or a 6 or 7 pin. Just more pins, the better. You want to make sure you can shoot your comfortable distance, or a majority of your distances, without having to adjust anything. Because again, movement will hurt you in that situation. So definitely, the more pins, the better, for sure.
So obviously you're going to be at a little more extreme than you would on elk. I mean, is there any or sheep versus elk? What type of gear are you changing up from what you would normally take elk hunting, as far as your pack, your minimum gear you go out there with? Is there anything different in addition to?
I'm carrying more gear, I'd say. So, I might have situations, because it's an August hunt, so there might be times where literally where I park my truck, it might be 80 degrees, and on the top of the mountain, it might be, 20 degrees. So I have a lot of swing in temperature. So I'm packing a lot more clothes. Last year, on opening day of this hunt, I actually joined a buddy. We had 6-7 inches of snow on August 4th. So I'm packing a lot more clothes, a lot more layers. I mean, I'm starting off in lightweight, pants, lightweight gear for hiking, but I mean, I'm packing down coats and face masks and gloves and everything else, just so as the weather changes, I don't have to retreat up the mountain. So my goal is, if I'm in that right situation, I have enough gear to safely stay. Other big things is, on the average elk hunt, a lot of times we pack in and pack out and adjust to the wind. I'm bringing a lot of cooking stuff. I'm bringing the jet boils. I'm bringing food to where I can withstand a longer day. Usually by the time we get in the woods in September, October, we're losing light, so we have somewhat of a shorter day. Early August, we still have some long days. So it's really long periods of time I'll be out there on the mountain, So I'll probably leave my truck between 1 and 2 a.m. to make these hikes, get to glassing points. I might not return back down the mountain or down to a place where I can even camp off a tree line, until 10, 11 at night. So I'm packing a lot of food, a lot of gear, just a lot more than I'd say than anything I normally pack on this type hunt. I also bring, small bivvies and things like that, to where if I have to stay on the mountain, I'm able to do so. So I'd just say more gear just in general.
Right. Just for the situation. Well, you're going to be, Louise talked about your service, your signal out there, so you're really going to be working on taking our viewers along on this hunt. Tell us about what you're going to be doing.
I'm packing the Sling Studio. I probably have 6 battery packs. Unfortunately, on a day where I'm planning on going live from top of the mountain, I'm probably going to have 30 more pounds of camera gear. So I'll probably be going in the mountain with 140 to 150 pounds of gear when I'm going in, if I'm going to stay and do a longer hunt. Right. Short day packs can be more at that 50-pound mark. But yeah, we're bringing everything to make sure that everybody following along with us will get to be a part of it. Hopefully you feel like you're on that mountain with us and take every step with us and know what it's like. And again, this is real. It's not a situation that I'd say is planned or prepped. I'm sure the success and the failures will all be seen. So you'll see the heartache, you'll see the emotion and everything else that comes with it, for sure.
Yeah, we've gone live, we've shown misses. I went to Illinois last year and went live and had a buck blow out on me live on camera. That happens.
Everybody in the world saw me miss a turkey this spring, I'm sure.
Yep. It's not pre-recorded and edited. It's the real deal. So.
The real deal.
Well, let's talk elk hunting. I know you've been hitting it hard on sheep, but man, you are a hardcore elk hunter. Plus, we have the sweepstakes going. Walk us through what you've been doing elk.
It's been awesome. We're having a great elk season. Everything kind of lined up perfect. So we had a lot of drier situations early in the year, and it created a lot of temperature. So we actually got really warm. And I love that for the starting point of the scouting season. So a lot of people hate the heat. You hear a lot of people complaining about heat and dry. But the biggest thing it does is it gathers your animals. It either gathers them in higher elevation or it gathers them around water. So I actually use the heat to my advantage. So we started really scouting all the watering holes. We scouted the higher country, and we found a lot of bulls. We found that type stuff. So we found a lot of animals, and now we're actually getting more rain than we've had in probably the last couple of years. It's actually caused a little bit of heartache because we had a lot of fires in Colorado. Now we're getting rain, so we're getting flood conditions. But with that rain, we really boosted our green grass right in the final stages of antler growth. So it really is putting a boost on that hydration, helping these animals finish off their overall antler growth very, very well. It's helping the cows and the calves as they hit the ground. So really we had the dry situation to gather the animals. Now we're having moisture to just prolong the health. So I'd say everything's looking good. We got a lot of great bulls. I mean, you've seen some of the bulls that we're seeing. The other day I was out, and this was afar. We love sitting back with a long-range spotting scope. But I saw 45 bulls on one mountain stretch. So basically, I'm looking at a 5-mile swath. But I had 45 bulls within this area. So we're seeing a lot of animals. So I think as these viewers and as our sweepstakes winner comes out here, they're going to be very happy with the results that we're seeing. So we're seeing a lot of bulls, and really the next 2 weeks is when we're really going to start seeing that massive growth. We're going to start seeing the bulls spending more time out during the day now that we're getting some moisture. So really the footage that we capture in the next couple of weeks is going to be phenomenal to see and watch these bulls as they come across.
Well, I think you had sent us over a pretty cool clip we had shared with a lot of our entrants, but I think we have it ready to go. Let's show that really quick. You've been hitting the field and taking some stuff on your phone. So.
Hey guys, it's July 23rd. In the woods, you got to see this bull. Look at that bull right there. Look at that. I tell you, that right there is literally about as good as it gets. Guys, big 6. His thirds are just incredible. Massive thirds. Great everything. His great swords, great fronts, but his thirds set him aside. But that right there is a very large bull. So guys, that's it. July 23rd, again, this is your update. I'm your guide, Nate Zelinsky, and we were in field, and we're getting a lot better handle on these bulls. We're getting patterned really good. And to be honest with you, I probably got, there's probably 50 bulls that we've been looking at, and there's 4 or 5 that are flat out studs. So either way, guys, we are patterned. We're waiting for you. Again, winter's coming up here very shortly, and you're going to have the opportunity to chase one of these monsters. So guys, stay tuned, keep watching for it, but be ready. It's going to be awesome.
And that's some phenomenal footage you're getting out there. So that's through the phone scope, right? You're doing
that's
that?
through the phone scope. And like that bull right there, he's deceiving because when I first saw him, I'm like, oh, he's a smaller bull. And then I started looking, and he's got great fronts, and he's got these massive third points. And then you start looking at his overall times. He's got a lot of length added in there. He's actually a really good bull. I stared at him for probably 15, 20 minutes at a couple hundred yards, and he's a cool bull. He's a unique bull. I think he's Danny. We're seeing a lot of that style bull, and I had this conversation with a person that was doing a seminar the other day, and we always ask people, what do you look for in a bull? Are you the guy that just wants a big, massive 6, or do you want that big 5, or do you want to see drop tines, or what do people look for in a bull? And we love to hear from the audience what you guys look for in a big buck. And you want those perfect tines to make that magical score, or do you just want that big frame of a bull that looks cool? There's a lot that goes into them, and right now I'm fortunate because I'm seeing a lot of all these style bulls. The typical good tines. I'm seeing bulls that have weaker tines but just massive frames, and we got a lot of options for somebody to pursue when we get out here.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for the sweepstakes. And tell everybody about what we have going on.
I'll tell you, it's awesome. We right here in literally what I think is probably the heart of elk hunting in Colorado right now. When you look at Colorado, your genetics kind of go back and forth, and you get different herd populations and different management. And right now, kind of right in central Colorado, we're probably at the peak right now. We're at the point to where literally years ago, we would be excited to see a 300-inch bull. Last year, we actually saw a 400-inch bull come off the property that this sweepstakes hunter is going to. Now, I don't want to promise 400, but
you're not going to give him a Ricky? You're going to promise him a Ricky?
Exactly. But the opportunity at big bulls is here. So, we're excited about it. So we got everything set up to where we're going to be hunting literally an amazing area with an amazing tag. So the sweepstake winner is going to bypass a 4 or 5 year wait for this tag, as we have a tag lined up for him. So again, you're already saving yourself multiple years of a draw and a tag. You're not burning up any points. So you have an amazing tag. You got great property. You're going to be joined by somebody who's spent a lot of time with these elk. Hopefully that helps out.
You're doing all the work right now. I mean,
so we got lined up for this sweepstakes winner. And, I mean, the fact that all you got to do is enter. I don't know anybody else is doing this type thing. So
no, nobody.
We're spending all the time, all the effort, getting everything dialed in. All you got to do is show up and, you know, keep up with us, dragging you through the woods and make a good shot, and you get it done.
Yeah, I mean, and we make it super easy for you guys to enter. And really, there's two ways you can do it. You can text the word hunt to 77453. What we'll do is we'll shoot you a text. There is a link in the text. So just by texting, you're not entered. You got to go to the link. And what we'll do is there's a landing page. We actually have two sweepstakes going. So we have the Colorado Elk Hunt with Nate, and we also have an Illinois whitetail hunt with Mike Straw from Savage Outdoors and the one. You can enter them both. You can only win one if you happen to be the lucky winner, but you can enter them both. We're going to give you a cool little quiz and on both of them, and there's no wrong answers.
Nope.
But you know, it's just more of helps us gauge your experience level. And what that does,
experience level doesn't matter. I mean, that's for sure.
Yeah, and that's what we do with that information is we feed that to guys like Nate, and then when Nate comes to his big game hunting tactics with Nate Zelinsky, he knows what is the most beneficial information that he can help you guys out with. We're about making you all better hunter. And then once you take those questions, answer those, I think there's 3 questions, you enter your information at the end, and then you're in the sweepstakes. Super easy. Or you can go to the Bowtech webpage. So if you don't want to do the text, go to bowtecharchery.com. There's a cool banner at the top. You click on that, do the same thing. You're good to go. I mean, doesn't get much easier.
It is free. It is simple. I tell everybody, hey, if you don't win, you should at least get your buddy to win so you can eat elk meat all winter.
Oh, no doubt.
Tell your friends about it.
Yeah, absolutely. We actually have a good couple questions popping in here really quick. Let me scroll back up because we had one I was going to watch. So Justin Conrad, we talked about arrows a little bit. Justin Conrad is asking, what is the minimum arrow weight you recommend? And fixed or mechanical broadheads. I get that question all the time. Every live event we do, I think, is fixed or mechanical.
You know, when it comes to that, I mean, again, I always say, I mean, it's all minimums. You don't want to get your bow out of whack. So your bow shooting correctly is going to be more than anything. Because obviously, I mean, I look at somebody like my wife. You know, my wife has to stand on her tippy toes to stretch 5 foot tall. I mean, she's shooting a 40-pound bow. She's shooting actually the Diamond Edge SB1. And she's shooting minimum arrow weights just so she doesn't have such a gap in her pin. So she's choosing to shoot lighter just so we can be more forgiving on the pin. So literally, I would say accuracy is going to be more important than weight. Now, if you have the capability of shooting quite a bit of poundage, the more weight's just going to make for a better impact. So again, I choose to shoot more weight to stabilize my arrow and wind more so than anything. But then when you, again, let's say you do hit that rib bone on a quartering away shot, having more mass and more weight, you're going to get a more straight pass through that help you put that animal down quicker. Mm-hmm. But again, I see a lot of guys get caught up in the weight aspect, and they shoot too much weight and everything gets kind of out of whack. And you're just not shooting overall good performance. So keep your accuracy good. Keep your weight semi-related to your overall draw weight to where you're having just a good finished package. That's probably the biggest thing that I say. Right. As far as broadheads, I'm old school. Everybody knows this. I actually had literally an hour-long phone call with Tim Gillingham the other day with his sheep tag because I want a fixed head. Again, mechanicals have came so far since I've ever had a negative experience, but I've guided a little over 250 elk kills back when I was a hardcore guide. You guys actually pulled me out of retirement to guide this.
Yeah.
I haven't done guided hunting, 6 years or so. But back in the days when I guided, I was a part of a very successful outfit. We were harvesting 50 bulls a year, so it was literally a very successful hunting operation. With that being said, I've seen elk get shot with everything under the sun. And mechanicals hardly ever do fail, but there is an option for that to fail. So if I can eliminate that failure factor, I'm all about a fixed head. Again, get it done. But again, your arrow flight can be somewhat dampened by that. There's a lot of negatives to that. But again, by shooting the most tunable bow ever made on the planet, by shooting the Bowtech realm, I'm able to adjust all that to where I still get flawless flight with that fixed head. So by shooting Bowtech, I can shoot a fixed head, I can make those longer shots, and it all works out for me. So I'm all about fixed head.
Well, I wanted to show a quick image. I don't know if we popped it up when we were talking about Ricky, but that was one thing we had hit on a lot last year was, you were chasing Ricky, and I think we have a pretty cool image here of Ricky after he was down, so everybody can kind of gauge, what they can expect potentially. I don't want to promise, like you said, but man, you don't mess around. That was.
No, I mean, I'm like sitting here in the studio. If I could add some lights from the camera, and I got a 380 class bull sitting next to me. I got Ricky next to me. I got a 345 by 5 in this room right here. No, if we're in the area doing this sweepstakes, I'm hunting myself in this area of possibilities of some very large bulls. I mean, bulls that will hold the candle to almost anywhere where you're going to go elk hunting in the Rocky Mountain region or in the prime elk states in the country. So no, it's this tag is very, very valuable. Everybody should get very focused in making sure they get their entries in. For sure.
Nate's working hard for you guys to make this happen, so you better get in there and enter this, because if you don't, you can't win it. I mean, that's, as you can see, he's doing the job, man. He's on the ground, he's getting photos. There's never going to be an opportunity like this to have a guy set this up, ready to go. You walk in, he's going to try to get you on an elk. I mean, that's. I can't enter it, so I think I'm excited to give it away. So
no, I said, man, it's gonna be fun, and again, just when you come out, man, have a positive attitude.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna see a lot of elk. We're gonna hear a lot of elk. It's gonna be prime rut. They're gonna be bugling and screaming and peeing all over themselves. So it's I'll be right there by your side enjoying it.
Well, if I was a hunter, all right, I'm going to put you on the spot. Nate's number one tip. If you were able, if a guy walked up to you, a guy or girl walked up to you and said, Nate, what's your number one tip that you can give me right now as an elk hunter?
I mean, the biggest thing is scouting, but again, I mean, that's a whole can of worms. But again, knowing the animal, knowing the resource, you can get away with not being a good shot, get away with not being a good caller, being away with not even being physical, because you know what the animals are doing. You just have to put yourself in that situation. So number one is scouting. But hey, let's say I'm at home, I'm in Georgia or Pennsylvania, I'm going to come out elk hunting. The biggest thing is be as physical as you can and be ready to shoot fast. I mean, I see so many lost opportunities in a bull that's within range because everybody's used to, I'm not picking on the whitetail hunters. Don't get mad at me. But guys get used to, hey, here's the trail he's going to come in on. I know that my distance is going to be such and such, and they get used to that. As an elk hunter, it is so fast paced. We might sit here and be like, hey, this is the perfect world. He's going to come in right there. It's going to be 40 yards. You're set. And then in the last second, we have to run 100 yards and shoot in a totally different area to where, you're not taking your quiver or your arrows off your bow. It's with you. You're not taking your pack off. It's with you. You're not adjusting your pin. It's where it's at, to where I want to make sure that guys, however they step out of the truck, I want to tell them to draw back and shoot, and I want them to be able to do that in a matter of seconds. Right. So other than scouting, I'd say, being prepared where you can try to keep up with me hiking through the woods, maybe out hike me, that would be ideal.
I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that.
If I shoot, I want you to be ready to shoot.
Mm-hmm. That's excellent. Well, I appreciate you joining us today. I mean, I was excited to be able to share the sheep hunt. That was a big one because you and I have been talking it quite a bit. You and Tim, our digital director, you've been talking a lot about prepping for this hunt, and I'm excited to be able to, you join us in the field with that. I know, stuff may happen, they may not have the connection, but just the opportunity to have the potential there to be able to share that with our viewers. So.
I wanted to introduce myself to everybody because, again, if you're a part of the Bowtech Instagram page, I officially stole the codes. I now have full access to it. So when you see a lot of stuff that might be windy, might be high country, it might be breathing hard, you know that I'm the guy behind the camera. So, no,
that's awesome.
Production that I'll be there doing a lot of that footage. So we're excited about that.
That's awesome. Elk Hunt, tell them again how they can enter to win.
The biggest thing, guys, is you can text or you can go to the website. Super simple. If you're old school, find somebody that can help you out. Go to bowtecharchery.com, sign up there, or always text the word hunt to 77453. And again, there's a lot of stuff that happened around that keyword 77453. Again, notifications when I go live, when Randy goes live. Do a lot of different stuff. And again, the biggest thing is we're about education. We want the average hunter to be educated to create that success. And again, all we're doing is promoting this educational tools, tips, things like that. My live feed on Tuesdays. Bring your questions. I will answer anything. There is nothing that I won't answer. And all of us have experience in multiple. We might be talking about elk, but we're sheep hunters. We're mountain goat hunters. We're moose hunters. We have all this education.
You're a turkey hunter. You went turkey hunting on for
I call them in. I'm not great at hitting them, but no. We do it all. So just make sure you follow all the education. And again, make sure you text it. Text keyword hunt to 77453.
I love it. I appreciate you joining us again, man. I'm excited for you to get out on the sheep hunt.
Absolutely.
All right, gang.
Again, we're less than 10 days away right now. So I'm less than 10 days away to chasing a Rocky Mountain Bighorn sheep, do-it-yourself, public land, the hard way, by foot, and we're going to bring it all to you. So again, anything that I'm doing, I can promise you too, say this, you can apply for the Colorado Draw, non-resident and resident, and have amazing odds. So everything that you see me do, if you have the best luck in the world, you could draw this tag next year. It took like 15 years to draw the tag, but my wife Mandy, who has a bighorn ram on the wall, she drew her tag in 4 years. So again, the options are open. So everything that I'm doing, just remember, you could recreate it. So there's good things to follow along, pay attention. You have questions about putting in for the tags, I'll walk you through it. Again, everything that we're doing, you can do.
I appreciate you sharing that because a lot of people don't realize that. They're like, oh, I'm not going to win it, and they don't even try.
You have a chance. Everybody has a chance. I'm doing it the way that everybody can.
That's awesome. Again, I appreciate you joining us, answering some questions we had popping through, talking about these hunts, man. You can't get any better than that. Those of you that
bring it to you.
Yeah, those of you that are joining us, man, I like Nate said, if you don't text in, you can't win. You can't get access to all this great content. So make sure you get in there, join that sweepstakes, and that way you'll get a notification. Those of you that have already probably got a notification right before we went live that said, hey, Nate's on. So you don't know if you don't do it. So you got to do it.
Got to do it.
You got to do it.
I'm going to 4 bulls this coming week to show everybody. So if you want to see the bulls that I find tomorrow or Saturday, you want to see them next week, got to text in to see those bulls.
I'm going to steal the Nike slogan, just do it. Till next time, guys, have fun and shoot straight.